Good afternoon, evening at this point. It's 8:30. I had put out a video um about some context, ladies and gentlemen. There has been a uh trend, as it were, going on with um you know how like every 10 years suburban white women will read some astroturf propaganda in a magazine and take it as gospel, and then for the next 10 years they're lobbying against the US government to get rid of margarine because it's healthy and stop using butter, and then 10 years later like butter's healthy again, stop using margarine, it'll kill you. For everybody who just want, for all the normal people in the audience who don't you know care about political shit. I basically the whole thing I just said was basically companies disseminating false facts, like the sugar industry did, trying to demonize fat. Um, Go look into it. John Oliver has a wonderful piece on it. I basically like called out that this is like the seed oil craze that's going on, and people on TikTok and Instagram and all that talking about, oh, seed oil is bad for you. It's all da 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 da. It's just like demonizing oil and stuff. Um, not that I'm like a jockey for big like olive oil or anything, but generally, it's usually the reason for it is astroturfing, and also which astroturfing is a grassroots movement artificially started by companies to go against people's interests, and also generally, cooking oils and stuff are staples of certain types of cuisines, in cultures. So like especially Southern culture and especially Italian culture with olive oil. So kind of like the desire to get rid of seed oil is kind of like insulting, I think. Kind of classist, and I made a whole thing basically saying it's not seed oil. It's not seed oil. It's not here. I'll just play it for you real quick, actually.
It isn't oil. It isn't seed oil. It isn't fat. It isn't carbs. It isn't meat. It isn't red meat. It isn't dark meat. It isn't any of these things. It is sugar. The thing that kills you slowly will be, and has always fucking been, processed sugar.
So, to be clear, I said this in like less than a minute in a very short amount of time. I wasn't able to go into all the detail, but I generally thought I got the message across. Some of my comments didn't necessarily agree. Last and high fructose corn syrup, exactly. That was another point I wanted to make. When I say sugar, I'm not just talking about the powdered sugar they put in stuff. High fructose corn syrup is another thing. High fructose corn syrup is a flavor additive that makes your food taste better. It's not a bad thing to even like really use if you can get a hold of it. It's pretty cool to use in some cooking. Adam Ragusia has another good video on that. But unfortunately, no matter how it is received, like there's a reason why when you make, say, when you make pasta sauce, there's a reason why you add a pinch of sugar into it. It's not to like make it taste sweet like sugar. The point of doing that is to, like salt does as well, get the chemical hooks into your brain. Our bodies like sugar. We're genetically predisposed to liking it, and that's okay. But a lot of companies, if you will look at the back of like anything, will put a lot of sugar, usually in the means of high fructose corn syrup, because you can put a little bit in and get a lot of those chemical hooks out of it, and just make your food taste better. All of our food tastes better because of it, but it also makes it so we're having more sugar grow in our body in concentrated amounts that tend to not be healthy. I'm not even talking about like obesity and shit like that. Like it's more of just like heart health and stuff that it can cause problems with. So I wanted to respond to this comment by Peaches because unlike this dickhead down here, being the freaking diet deacon, of course, I wanted to like give a kind of more of a verbal video response. I did give him a response here where I said, my point is that seed oil, he said, every health expert I've talked to who says seed oil is bad also says sugar is bad. Not so sure your point. Valid. My point is that a bag of seed oil and Doritos may be bad for you, but let me just alliterate. If I got one of those, like, pissy little bags of Doritos that you get, like, in, like, a lunchbox or something, like the tiny ones that are, like, mostly air, is there oils and stuff that are bad for you? Absolutely. You know, processed food generally, you know, isn't good if you eat a lot of it. But at the same time, though, the amount of, say, canola oil, seed oil within this bag of Doritos you would have to eat would end up being, like, to be able to have the level of, like, I say harm, like you're gonna hurt yourself eating a bag of Doritos, but I have no better word for it, so bear with me. I'm not one of these, like, fucking food Nazis. I'm sorry, I'm just alliterating my point. Comparatively, to have the same level of damage of the oils you're eating do damage to you the same way compared to the amount of sugar you're eating is not comparable. You know, there's sugar in things that there shouldn't be sugar in. Like, there's sugar in canned fruit and stuff and vegetables at the store. The fact of the matter is that, you know, while I have a shitty diet and I will continue to have a shitty diet, I also am cognizant of the fact that it is sugar that's the issue. I stopped drinking sugary drinks as a result. Literally, and I lost 10 pounds and I feel better. That doesn't necessarily mean that I've stopped drinking sugary drinks. I'll have one occasionally for a lark with friends, but I'm not telling people that they need to stop eating or drinking these things. The fact of the matter is that if we want to, you know, there's plenty of people on like YouTube and TikTok who document their times overseas going to Europe and shit, and they're like, example, I was watching a video the other day. I can't find it for the life of me. Otherwise I would have brought it up before we did this. A woman who has been lactose intolerant her entire life went to Europe, ate all of the cheese, came back with a dairy addiction because she avoided it for most of her life, as she should, because cheese is amazing, dairy is amazing, no matter what people tell you. And she had, like, American, like, feta, like from Trader Joe's or something, and she blew ass. And it makes sense. It's just American. My point with all of this is that our food ain't really that great. You know, it's processed. It's. I think that we can have cheap, cost-effective food that doesn't break the bank that people of any socioeconomic status can have without pumping it full of chemicals and sugar to make it edible. And that's just my thing. And I say this like is my most passionate belief on the planet. No. This is one thing in a long list of things of opinions I have, but as far as ranking goes, this isn't even in the top 30 of things I care about. We can get to food quality significantly later, but there's bigger fish to fry on it from a bigger political standpoint. As far as responding to you, Peaches, you make a very good point. I apologize for not stating my point more clearly, and Robert Zabinski, go fuck yourself. I'm actually gonna hide you from my channel because I don't like your fucking attitude. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for your time today. I really genuinely appreciate you chit-chatting and talking with me. It's been a fucking blast. Thank you for listening to my ramble. Peaches, thank you so much for the comment. If you see this, I appreciate making these responding to comment videos. I feel like I might sneeze. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you bunches and bunches. I want to give a big thank you to the patrons you see on screen here, including Reed Savage, Mike Metzley, PT Sean, Oni, Top Hatter, Anthony J. Lopez, and the love of my life, Metafavuzi. If you want to consider supporting the show, please consider joining my Patreon. It costs as little as $1 a month. You get access to a bunch of cool things, and it makes the dopamine in my brain go. Anywho, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you bunches and bunches, and I will leave you with the illustrious beats of the great Villainous Styles.